All right, my name is Alfred King, and I'm the Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Education. And I've been blessed to be in this leadership position for quite some time now as the Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sport, as well as Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs. And a public servant for well over 30 years now, who served as well in the military, and therefore would have been blessed with an opportunity to lead and father many, directly and indirectly. In my own life, I have 4 children, 1 grandchild, and so they look up to me to provide them with the kind of leadership they define a father as and should be providing. The world actually looks forward to men, or look to men, to provide not only leadership, but the value that they bring to any agency, any community, any society that they're involved in and they will be in. Right now, you know that father is really a blessing. To be a father is a blessing. To be a man is a blessing. And sometimes you always believe that people are not quite aware in terms of what a definition of a man is and how enviable that role is to be a man. For the lack of knowledge, sometimes you don't find men owning up to their responsibility. And of course, you know too well, if you're a Christian, you'd hear the Bible speaks about man and his role in terms of leadership in the home, in communities, and even in the workplace. And that should not be taken lightly. And of course, it complements whatever is thrown at you in terms of life, and what is it that you can contribute to make the workplace, the home, a better place. In the home, it is a man's responsibility to lead that family and to provide for that family, to set the stage for them to inculcate the right value so that they can make the right contribution to the families, the community, and national development. And therefore, you understand your role there as a provider, as a protector, as someone who will ensure that your family is provided with the basics so that they themselves can make a meaningful contribution. So too in the workplace. Men complement the workforce, and in some cases where they're given a leadership role, they ought to demonstrate the values that can complement the entire team, that would make them productive, that will see them not only endure a day's work, but endure a day's work as part of a team where they can make a more valuable contribution to whatever they do and life generally. And I always believe personally, wherever I work, that I should treat any environment and any team I work with as a family setting. And so I always see myself as either a leader or a big brother who would want to also not only provide for people's development generally, but to provide support when there is this need, to show them opportunities for their own personal development, to aid in some cases and where it's possible for them to self-actualize. And so too, you'd understand in the wider community where I serve as a volunteer, every time I'm given that chance, I try to play this big brother role, this leadership role, where I try as best as possible to take to that community the values that are associated with good living, the opportunities that are available for persons to develop and grow and enhance the development of that community. And so I can tell you the value of men, while it would be recognized a lot more on the International Day for Men, in terms of life generally, there is always the need for a man to take his role as a leader, as a provider, as somebody, as a trendsetter, somebody who ensure that that community, that workplace wherever he operates, has a set of values that can see life impacting on national development and growth generally. So on the International Day for Men, I'd want to call into action all the men out there to be of service to people everywhere. And right in the education sector, we've noticed over time the paucity or the reducing number of male figure. That is whether in the classroom or in education leadership generally. We'd want to say that if families grow with both men and women or lady and man, they complement each other and they complete the family setting and they enhance each other so that the productive lives and the value that they develop is one that can make a meaningful contribution. So too in the classroom. When boys see men in the classroom, they have a lot more role model to look up to. They understand what their roles might be, and they are able to copy from someone who demonstrate those high qualities of manhood. And therefore, they are able to grow up to nurture the next generation from a position of leadership and where the manhood kind of character might be lacking. So men complement women. It's not a one-sided thing. And wherever they operate together, life is far more better. People socialize in a better setting, and people learn to develop and appreciate values that can make life much more better and productive for all of us.